If there is one asset for which the European citizens do appraise the European experience, is precisely because free movement, it is of the essence. Without Schengen, first, there will be no recovery. That's the point I make. There will be no recovery, no possible recovery. I'm talking to you from the Canary Islands. Almost 3 months of confinement. An archipelago heavily dependent on tourism. That means connectivity. That means air traffic on a daily basis. 15, 18 million visitors round the year. Now we have been blocked completely below zero. Tourism has fallen down to zero. So this is the ground zero situation for the Canary Islands and for so many regions across Europe. You know what? There is no recovery outside, there is no hope outside if there is no fully functional Schengen back again. And the Schengen Borders Code states it clearly that in order to restore internal borders within the European Union, each member state has to communicate those measures to the other member states and to the Commission. And they have to be time-framed, clearly time-framed, 15 days. And for it to be prolonged every 10 days, there has to be a dynamic of exchange of views and an agreement being made in the Council of Ministers of Justice and Home Affairs. Nothing of the kind was respected as binding law when we saw these dynamics of measures imposing restrictions in free movement and suspension of Schengen. Hopefully, there will be a coordination and a new step forward to regain trust in Schengen Borders Code when it comes to being back to normal, one way or the other, the sooner the better. That is the hope of us all. That is precisely the magic of the European Union, which is rule of law. The European Union law matters. The European law does matter. And it means that it's binding for the institutions, but also for the member states. And this is important to be reminded precisely because we are undergoing an unprecedented crisis, the so-called coronavirus pandemic, and of course the economic and social consequences afterwards, which are all negative. We need to overcome, but law matters, and law matters especially in times of crisis, especially in times of coronavirus, especially in times of pandemic. We need to reach out to the public and say, hey, listen, we care about the rights of the European citizens, and the free movement is the most precious right for the European citizens.
Touch with you in order to solve this issue. Okay, thank you.
All of the LIBE members to this afternoon session in which we have a number of speakers, which I am to announce. But first, let me tell you that we had a vote as to the amendments of the Schengen following the COVID-19 outbreak report, me as rapporteur, your chair, and now the vote will be on the resolution. We had the amendments, compromise amendments, now we're voting the resolution. The vote will be starting now, and the outcome of the vote will be announced by the end to our rapporteur, Mr. Romeo Franz, and then we will be giving the floor to the speakers. Are exactly the same. And I understand that maybe it would be useful to verify the